2 days of delay is not the right thing to happen. So when you do the bank reconciliation, the bank reconciliation date and your book date, if there is an exception, especially in case of cash deposit and cash withdrawal, this exception report is going to give you a list of all the transactions where the date in the book and the date in the bank is different, or there is a variation in the bank. So it calls for an investigation, or detailed analysis of the reason for these uh, you know uh, difference in the uh, deposits or the withdrawal part. Fixed asset analysis basically is going to tell you for calculating less than 6 months and more than 6 months. Transaction on holiday, again, it is not relevant in the last 5 6 years, right? But still, if I, as a owner of an organization, if I want to know what kind of transactions have been passed in my books of account on a holiday, right? And it has to catch my eye if there are more cash transactions happening. See, holiday is something where the office is not working, the entire office is closed, and then the data entry operator or an accountant is come and then he's making those entries on a holiday, right? So if there are cash transactions, it has to catch my eye to just investigate and find out why these cash transactions are happening on a holiday. That's where it helps you. Then highest and lowest value transaction basically gives you an analysis of the ledger behavior. Pending advances, when you're going to finalize your books of account, if there are any advance pending, this is an exception report which is going to throw the exception. So that's the whole, the benefit and the advantage of using the analytical tool. Stale check and instrument, again, we know that 3 month is the time period for any check. So any check which is dated, and if it is not deposited within the period of 90 days or 3 months, okay, then post 3 months the check cannot be encashed, right? So we would have issued checks to the suppliers or vendors, and then we would have accounted. And when you're doing the bank reconciliation, basically this is going to be it is going to appear month on month, it is going to appear, right? And let's say that you're doing bank reconciliation once in 3 months, 6 months or something. So in that case, what happens, it is going to now look at the date of the instrument that you have issued based on the voucher that you have entered in tally. It is going to take your current date, and whatever checks that you have issued which have not been reconciled in your books of account, if it is pending, this is going to tell you that these are the checks which are they have expired, and they have become stale. So this quickly gives you, again, it helps you to quickly clean up your bank account, especially in your tally bank book. You can clean up so that at any point in time you're going to see the real balance of your cash, which is going to definitely help you in your cash flow or your working capital management. So now coming to the first part, where we were talking about account verification of chart of account. So what are the things that you can do? So if you're seeing here, basically you will see that account squared off during the year. Now this account squared off during the year is a very important aspect of it, which calls for a bit of domain taxation domain knowledge. Okay, we will come to that. There is another slide which we will discuss about in little detail. Now this is where basically it is going to show the competency level or the skill set that you have acquired. How are you going to demonstrate your skill set, right? So this is one very important aspect which will help you in highlighting your knowledge on the financial aspects of it. So account squared off during the year, let me just quickly see in the next one. So the second one that we are seeing here is not available in the current year. So what does it say? It says previous year these ledgers were there, but current year these ledgers are not available. Why? So the whole data analysis aspect that you're going to do is going to get the answer to one very important question, that is why. why is this happening? Why in the previous year, if this ledger was existing, why it is not existing? So when you are enrolling for this course, basically, there is an explanation in the video with each and every use case scenarios have been used. I mean, like, what could be the reason for the ledgers not being available in the current year? So the workbook which is there again explains in detail about those scenarios, and also the video, multiple use case scenarios have been provided, which you will know much more better, and you will understand. So here I'm going to give you the what is that you are going to look into these exceptional aspects of it. Not used is basically, it says that, okay, if you are comparing your previous year with your current year, it says that in the current year also you are not used this ledger, the previous year also you are not used this ledger. That is what it says. So now you can decide what you want to do with this particular ledger. Not used in the current year, not used in the current year is very important aspect. Now this is what is going to tell you any provisional entries or any entries which basically you have to pass those provisional entries at the end of the year. If you have not accounted for, basically it is going to compare with all those entries in the previous year, and it is going to tell you if you're not entered. For example, audit fee. Right. So audit fee is a provisional entry that you're going to make. Your salary for the month of March, any expenditure for which the payment is being made in the subsequent financial year, if you have not you need to account for it. If you have not accounted for it, this report is going to quickly throw those exceptions, and you can quickly make sure that you are able to take care of those things. Only balance last year used only in the current year. Now this again is something where the management have to look into it, because this could lead to, majority of the cases it leads to a fraud, right? So I mean, like, for the entire last year, that there was no transaction in that particular thing. And supposing if that ledger is used in the current year, and if the payment is made, if it is a receipt, no problem, because money is coming into the organization. If the money is going out of the organization, and if the entry is made in the current year with a cash transactions, then it calls for the attention of the concerned person. So those are the things that is going to be only balance, no transaction. So this again helps you to quickly make all those adjustment entries of those ledgers where you have all those small balances which have been lying for the current year or over a period of time. This report can quickly help you to quickly clean up the petty balances of the ledgers. Regrouped again is going to help you that in the previous year a particular ledger was grouped in a particular group of, maybe in an asset group or a liability group, income group, or an expenditure group. Supposing if that particular ledger has been regrouped in the current year, it just gives you an indication of to mull upon why this regrouping has done. Revenue ledger having opening balance, again, it's a very interesting thing. I think if you are enrolling, it's a very interesting examples have been given there. You can actually have a look at that. Used only in the current year again is very, very important as far as the I mean, the auditors or for the top management is concerned. So a very simple concept: use only in the current year is that in the current year the ledgers have been created in the current year freshly. Those ledgers have not been there in the previous year. They have been created in the current year, and they have been used in the current year. So it is going to give you the list of all the new ledgers that have been created and transacted in the current year. It is also going to tell you what is the first day of transaction, right? So this again helps in verifying the genuineness of the entry that has been made in the books of account. Now coming to the squared off during the year, there are a couple of things. This is going to be very useful, especially in case of tax audit. So if your organization is covered under tax audit, it is very, very important for you to understand this and make sure that these exceptions are taken care before your books of accounts are going to your chartered accountant. Okay, very simple thing. So there are different sections. I don't want to bog down you with sections and other things. So simple thing is that it says that if you as an organization, if you are taking any loan or deposits of an aggregate amount of 20,000 or more, Then, so let's say that you have taken a loan of 20,000 rupees. Okay. Now, if it is, so in any case, if your books are going to be audited by your statutory auditor, then this needs to be, if it is not being taken care, or if it has to be reported in the income tax when the income tax returns have been filed, which is where the tax audit report 44 AB section audit report is where these informations are provided. So this amount is going to be disallowed. Okay, that is number one. So number two is that there is another section which says the company cannot accept payment of sale from any single party in cash of more than 2 lakh rupees. All right. So that is another exception. So this is what is going to actually bring here in the squared off during the year, because squared off in the sense your trial balance is not going to reflect the balance, because the total debit balance has been squared off with the credit balance. So your trial balance is not going to show this ledger with any balance. It is not going to impact your financial statement. But yes, from the income tax point of view, it's a very, very critical aspect which needs to be looked into, so that these amounts are not going to be disallowed. If they are disallowed, there is the tax liability is going to, income tax liability is going to go up. Okay. So like this, there are other scenarios which are there, which you can see them in detail when you are getting into the detailed course. Okay. So this is again a very, very critical aspect of it. The analytics part of which I was talking about, if you see on the screen here, basically here the example that is taken is you are comparing your sales with your indirect expenses. Now, in the tool, if you see in the tool, again in the course, the various combinations have been provided. So in the tool, you can actually, this is one very powerful tool, which the default tally report will not provide any of this thing. So only place where you get what you want to see is what you are going to get in this particular report, where you can pick up let me give you a very, very weird example. You can pick up your sales ledger and then compare it with a cost center, related cost center. I'm not taking unrelated aspect of it, right? So this is one report where you can compare. See, generally in the default report of tally, you have ledger to ledger comparison, inventory to inventory, I mean, accounting to accounting ledger, inventory to inventory comparison, and then you have a cost center report separately. But this is one place where you can see the accounting ledger versus the cost center, where extensively the organizations are using cost center for their internal controls. This is one very, very, very critical report that is going to help the organization in being on their operational activity on top of it. So if you just see here, basically it is going to tell you what is the current year's turnover, right? And what is the previous year turnover. So it is going to compare with your previous year with your current year. So it says that current year your turnover is increased by 27%, right? So your indirect expenses. Now, if you come down here, basically it is going to tell you your indirect expenses for last year. What was the, if the total is 15.15% of your total sale. Current year, fortunately the indirect expenses is actually come down, right? So the variance is you have saved 40.89% on your indirect expenses. Now if you come down to each ledger under your indirect expenses, it is going to give you the breakup of the percentage. It is going to compare with the expenses of the current year with the current year turnover, and it is also going to give you the variance in amount, and also it is going to give you the variance in percentage. So this is a bird's eye view of how well you are managing your operation, is what is this analytical procedure report is going to provide. So tracking periodic payment and receipts. Now this is where office rent, salaries, electricity charges, right? So these things are periodic in nature, which you need to account for. So this, it gives a snapshot. If you get into this report, it is giving you a snapshot of this report, saying that okay, see, if you see, there is a highlight which says office rent, there is an amount of 4,25,000 in the last year, and 12 entries have been made. Okay, in the sorry, in the current year, 4 lakh 25, 12 entries have been made. Previous year, 12 entries have been made. Now when you go deep into it, then you will realize here you see that there is a variation in the monthly because these are recurring payments. And if you notice here, though there are 12 transactions for the entire year, in the month of March, there is no transaction. Right, so this is where it helps you to make sure that you can actually, from this report, from the data analysis report, you can actually drill down up to the voucher. Right, so you can go down and then you can see there. So this is misleading, when you see at the top of it, it says that there are 12 vouchers. Fine, so 12 vouchers are there, I've done with it. Now when you go to the next level by drilling down, you will get the comparison of the current year to last year. This also going to tell you the variation. What is the variation that is happening? So this is how you're going to identify the exceptions. Repeated transaction, very simple. Any value, if it is getting repeated more than once, right? So those values are picked or pulled out from the entire database. Now whether you have 100 vouchers or 1 lakh vouchers, Tally is going to take care of it. Every amount, if it is getting repeated, it is also going to show you how many times this amount is getting repeated. Right, a recurring amount, like for example rent, generally is going to be the same amount on a month-on-month basis. So but then this exception is going to give you an indication of these are the values. Now again, we have a very powerful I can call it as a tool, or I can call it as a feature, or I can call it as a configuration, which is F12 configuration. In all my session, basically I try to bring this to the notice of my attendees, that three important secret that you people have to know if you're going to make Tally work for you like a slave. So the three important secret is, secret number one is, any report in wherever you are in Tally, whether you are in master creation, whether you are in voucher entry, whether you're in your report, just concentrate on the right hand side button bar and the bottom button bar. That's your secret number one. Anything that you want to do, if you just concentrate there, you don't need anybody's assistance or anybody's help. You don't have to ask anybody to get what you are looking for. Secret number one. Secret number two is your F12 configuration. F12 configuration is like, I always call F12 configuration as Brahmastar, right? So best thing is, if you don't know what to do with this report, press F12 configuration. You will get what to do, and sometimes you'll be so surprised that you would have not even thought of getting this information, but F12 configuration is allowing you to see that information in a diced way, sliced way, or in a 360 degree. Right. So similarly, every report in data analysis, you have this F12 configuration, and also you have the right hand side button bar. The third secret in Tally Prime is your go-to. Again, I say go-to is Google of Tally. Right, so if you don't know anything today, what you do, very simple, no? You just go to Google and type. Similarly, if you don't know which report where it is there, or you don't know where in which menu you have to go and see a particular information, don't worry, just press Alt G and then type what you are looking for. Tally is going to guide you, and it is going to take you. You can, using the go to option in Tally, you can switch from, you can move from one report to another report. From within a report, you can go into creation of voucher. And when you are in the creation of voucher, you can put see, the best part is you can put the voucher on hold. Let's say you make a sale entry, there are 25 items, you have entered 15 items. Let's say your manager comes and says that, no, 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 I want you to make this receipt entry, or he says, take this outstanding statement and give it to me. All right, so earlier what we used to do in Tally, unfortunately you have to press escape and then go back, do that, and then come back again, re-enter the 15. The best part with the secret number 3 in Tally go to is that you can park the voucher. So you just press go to, and then put that particular voucher on hold, go there, and then you can see whatever, basically whatever other action that you want to do, complete that action, come back, and you are back in your voucher, and you continue with your 16th item to be captured in your sales invoice. Very, very powerful thing. Remember these three secrets. Again, when you're using the data analysis and analytical tool, remember these three secrets, and you will be surprised to see the power of reporting of Tally, the power of exceptional reporting of Tally. So the exception handling, right? So this is what is basically the RSF, relative size factor. So it's very simple. What the relative size factor, the formula, it works like this. So it will take the highest value that is being debited or credited for a particular ledger, and it will take the second highest value, and then it is going to give you a relative size factor. So basically, if you see here, the third one, it says electricity charges is 3.72. So which means, uh, you know, the expenses have gone almost 4 times. Supposing if your average expense is going to be 1000 rupees, the expenses is gone 4000 rupees. Now when you drill down, it is also going to tell you how the relative size factor is being arrived, and every ledger it is going to pick up the first highest value, second highest value, and then find the relative size which is going to give you. So again, using your F12 configuration, you can filter, saying that, see, normally up to 2 or even 3 is an acceptable exception in certain cases, right? Wherever there is higher exception, then basically it gives you the facility to go further into the information and then drill down, analyze, investigate, and then get get the information right, or get yourself convinced that yes, these are the right information or the transactions. Okay. So there are many more reports, like we said, the other reports which are there is the cash withdrawal and cash deposits and various other things are there. So I mean, like, I would want you people to go and explore this wonderful feature that we have provided in our Tally. Okay, and then make use of this feature, and then see how well you can use this knowledge that we have acquired in the organizations, and be a shining star in your organization. So transformation, this brings a transformation beyond bookkeeping, right? So, and the better the technology is boon for accountant, and I would say that all accountants should be a business advisor in the organizations, right? These tools, especially the the data analysis and the verification tool, there are other things which I've not covered here, is that you can actually do an audit with the data analysis tool, right? So you can audit them, you can keep it on hold for clarification. A lot of things can be done, especially in larger organizations, where you as a senior accountant, you can do this on a daily basis, not that you have to wait for the year end to complete to get into the data analysis. On a real time basis, you can do the data analysis, so that on a real time basis you are able to quickly identify the errors or mistakes that have been committed, and then take a proper action, so that it is not going to damage the organization in the longer run, or at the end of the year. Sometimes it becomes very difficult for you to manage these exceptions to be taken care of. So that is where the data analysis tool is going to really help and transform yourself from being an accountant to business advisor, right? So thank you, guys. I hope this would have given you a broad idea of how powerful this tool is. And once you know in detail about this tool, how to use it, and once you have enrolled, and then, or whoever is enrolled, if you have completed the course, I'm sure you will know that there is going to be a paradigm shift in the way that you are working in the organization, or what is that you can contribute by additional skill set that you are acquiring is going to be very, very obvious, and it is going to be visible. Okay, so over to you, Jyoti. Is there, I mean, if we have time, then we can have, I can take questions also.
Sure, sir. Sure. It was a great session, sir. Powerful and full of information, of course. And I would also like to share that we have even joiners from YouTube as well. There are people who have joined us from YouTube as well. So for
Okay,
them also, if you want to ask any questions, they can put that in the chat box. And
sure,
you
sure.
all are also requested to share your questions in the chat box. Though even during the session, sir, I was receiving a positive feedback from everyone. I mean, people were saying thank you and hello, sir, and thank you, sir, and good session, sir. But in between all of them, I would just request if you all can just share your questions or the queries in the chat box. That would maybe if you have some, because I don't know if after explaining it so well, if there would be some doubts, but still if there are, please put that. Okay. Dimple Bhatia has said, thank you so much, sir, for sharing 3 secrets. This is a specific
Thank you.
point that I would like to describe here. And
Thank you.
there are like Abhishek and Yogesh was saying thank you, thank you. There are a lot of thank yous. But in between, I would like to request for questions first. I mean, we really appreciate your feedback. But yes, of course, if you can just also share your questions with from Pugal sir, it would be great. Um, I have okay. Kavya has asked, "Good evening, sir. I have square exemption. Please clarify, sir." Sir,
Sorry, what
if
exemption?
yeah, I also think this is a half question. Kavya, if you can explain your question. Okay, she said, thank you, your webinar was wonderful. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kavya, if there was some question, please explain or elaborate that, please.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there is one question from a learner who's saying that I'm studying in BCom final year and want to do this course, data analysis course. Can I pursue this course, or it is only for working professionals?
No, no, definitely, I mean, like you can, since you are in the final year BCom, very soon you will be getting into the real world. And this course is definitely going to help you so that, when you are getting placed in the organization, you will be placed at a higher level. This knowledge is going to definitely help you in a better position in the organization. You can and you must take up this course and build up your skill set.
Thank you, sir. And there are people, I mean, saying again, thank you. But yeah, there are many people who are also saying I'm not able to unmute, including Kavya. So, see, you'll not be able to unmute yourself, but please try to type your question in the chat box. That would really help.
Yeah.
What are the career opportunities with learning data analysis and verification tools? Asked by Amit Jain. Sir, if
Yeah.
you can
So
please.
the career opportunity is that, like I had presented in my presentation, that you are going to go to the next level, that is not as an accountant, but you are going to play a role of a business advisor. Okay. And it's a very important activity that every organization have to go through these activities for finalizing their books of account. And this is where you're going to greatly contribute with the knowledge that you are going to acquire, and then make sure that the financial statements of the organization is being taken care of in the right way. This is where definitely with this knowledge you will be at the higher pedestal in the organization.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful explanation to that. And there are another questions. There are so many questions, in fact, slowly. So also, I would like to repeat on the same. If people from YouTube also are joining, you can also put your questions in the chat box if you have any queries on that. Sir, one question has asked like methods of analysis that one should remember to master the data analysis in Delhi.
Not required. Not required. In fact, all you have to remember is your secret number 3. Right. Just wherever you are from the gateway of Tally, press Alt G and then say data analysis. You are going to get that. And then everything, believe me, it is menu driven, and the exception is going to be so simple and easy for you to understand. No, you really don't have to, uh, you know, uh, you know, get to remember the, path or the navigation and all those things. Not required. It's very simple. It is very intuitive, and then it goes in the flow. So there's probably you would have seen the first screen talks about what are the various analysis, and for each of the analysis, when you drill down, see here I've not shown this as part of the product, right? So that is why probably you might be having this doubt in your mind. But then when you see in the product, you have the first screen, drill down, related to that you have other exceptions, then you drill down, related to that it is going to give you your data information. So this way you can actually drill down to the exception, and then further drill down if you have the rights to modify the voucher and all those things, you can do and modify it, and then quickly you will also see the impact and see that that exception is actually gone away. So that's the the simplicity and the power of this tool.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Though we have extended the time, but I would like to take a few more questions. Meanwhile, I would like to request everyone if you can just see a poll question on your screens for sharing your experience with us. Please answer the poll question on your screens. And also, I'll would like to take the question. DVS Nikhil has asked, how can we check balance sheet in Tele? I don't know how much it is related to data analysis, but the question has been asked.
Yeah. See the balance sheet. If I'm not wrong, you are talking about the Schedule 3 balance sheet, right? So see, this exception is going to be this exception is related not just to any one part of the financial statement. Okay. So your balance sheet values, balance sheet items, and also your P&L account is going to be impacted. So the entire financial statement is what is there. But then, I mean, the balance sheet, you don't have to do that you already have a default report where you compare your current year balance sheet with the previous year balance sheet for various analytical purpose. But then information related to balance sheet which are exception in nature is going to come here. Information related to profit and loss account which are an exception in nature is going to come here. That is what is the core the design of the uh, verification tool.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to take last question as I've already said the time has already crossed. So I'm merging two questions here. Amit Jain has asked, we need to wait. I think I've got yeah. What are the career opportunities with learning data analysis and verification tools? And another, just adding on to it, is Tele Prime mandatory to learn this course?
Hmm. See, one is definitely it is not mandatory for you to learn this particular module uh, to know Tally Prime, but definitely knowing Tally Prime, at least at the basic level, would give you better understanding or grip of the data analysis tool that you are actually using. Right, so you will know these. See, the whole thing is the source of your source of your information. What is the source of your information? The source of your information is your voucher, your transaction. So that is where if you know the basic part of it, it will really help you, but it is not mandatory. I mean, like if you domain wise, if you are into this particular field, like for example you are an audit assistant, or you are doing a CA course, or any of the professional course you are doing, where in your organization you are doing the audit for your client. So in that case you definitely need not have to go through the basics of Tally to come here. Just if you know how to navigate, and that is just two-step navigation, go to two-step navigation. The moment you are here, you will feel comfortable in seeing those exceptions.
Sure, sir. And as I have already said, there are a few questions that there are people like who are wanting to repeat certain terms. For them, I just want to explain that the recording of the entire session will be, I mean, the recording link, of course, because the file would be very heavy. So the recording link will be shared to everyone on your emails, to those who all have attended this session today. So please, you can just re-listen to the same session again, and you can clarify your doubts as well on the same part. And very few questions which have been remained, maybe you can get your answers from the same session. So, sir, here it was a wonderful session. As I said that we have poll question here again. If you would like to share or attend such sessions in the future also, please put your answers on the chat box as well here. We have got many good positive feedbacks with a lot of thanks, and there are people who are mentioning, exclusively mentioning that, sir, thank you for sharing golden rules and three secrets, and certain topics they're highlighting that they were really interesting and good to learn about. Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
sir, for a wonderful session today.
Thank you, Tati. Thank you, and thank you all participants, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for getting your valuable time for all of us and for all the learners here. And we will be right back with another exciting session for all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a great day and great evening ahead. Thank you, everyone. Please share your feedbacks that would enhance our next upcoming webinars. Also, if you want to put your feedbacks in the chat box that on what topic you would want our next session to be, you can put that also in the chat box. So we'll try to get another session on that same topic. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in.